All right. Shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi, Kol Haloyim La Yahawah, Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem, Rachach Wadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of the great millstone of the well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that's scattered abroad, the Akim and the Aquat that's listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing, that the lesson is edifying. It's the brother Shabab Omawan back at you with another lesson. Going into the title, all right, Yahweh taketh away the stay of bread, the stay of water, all right. And I want to bring out real quick Isaiah, all right. This is Isaiah 3:1, and it reads, "For behold, the Lord Yahawashi, the Lord Yahweh of hosts, does take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stay of the staff, and stay in the staff, the whole stay of bread and the whole stay of water." All right, when you read that in the NLT, it says, "The Lord Yahawashi, the Lord Yahweh of heaven's armies, will take away from Jerusalem and Judah," all right, going into, northern kingdom and southern kingdom, all right, everything they depend on, every bit of bread and every drop of water. Okay, now with that being said, let me play this video. All right, and Lord willing, you can hear it. I'm gonna put it on the Bluetooth in the car. All right, check this out.
Coming out from the FBI regarding asymmetrical warfare by Iran against the United States. They're saying they can't match our military might, but they can contaminate our drinking water, shut off our power grids, and also wreak havoc on U.S. society with various cyber attacks on critical infrastructure systems. Let's go ahead and take a look at the latest headlines so that way you can see it for yourself. U.S. warns of Iran-affiliated cyber attacks on critical infrastructure across the country. Security agencies say municipalities should watch out for unusual activity, especially in water and energy sectors. We're hearing a special warning on these particular areas. Iran planning cyber attack on U.S. infrastructure, intelligence community warns. Here's another one coming out in the...
Salaki, I don't mean to hold it. I got to hold it down because police, just in case. All right, but you can hear it.
Last 3 days, cyber attacks target U.S. infrastructure and other cybersecurity news as well. And we're hearing special emphasis on water and also on electricity. Now, in addition to that, there have been new warnings coming out from the FBI regarding cyber attacks right here at home on U.S. citizens. Take a look at this. Feds issue an urgent warning for internet users. Update your routers immediately. We're going to be getting into all the details. And also, new FBI warning reveals phishing attacks hitting private chats. Now, Russian hackers are targeting messaging apps. They're trying to get regular, everyday civilians information. We're going to be covering the details. So again, please use caution as we are hearing that this is unfolding right now.
All right, so you heard it. All right, let's hear it one more time.
Warnings coming out from the FBI regarding asymmetrical warfare by Iran against the United States. They're saying they can't match our military might, but they can contaminate our drinking water, shut off our power, and also wreak havoc on U.S. society with various cyber attacks on critical...
And that's heavy, Dad. See, what they're about to start doing is they're about to start... See, this is how they're about to attack us, man. They're going to poison our waters. All right, they're going to smack us with cyber attacks, which they all have the power to do things like that, man. Okay, that's what happens when you deal with a digital system, when everything is based on computers. You see, it's easy to hack things, all right? And because the computers in today's society is connected all to one place, basically, really, okay? That's why people can pretty much, do whatever they want with this technology, okay? See, at the end of the day, even though it's a witty invention, right, it's used, all right, in the worst manner, possibly, you see, in today's society. All right, computers are used for all the wrong reasons. Yeah, do you get certain benefits out of it, things like that? Yeah, you can search out information, seek certain things, but in these times, man, people use it for all the wrong reasons. Okay, and like you just heard, they're ready to poison our water. They're ready to, shut down through cyber attacks. Okay, and hey, through a cyber attack that can pretty much destroy our water source, because everything that's controlled, right, with the water, all right, it's connected somehow to the internet. All right, the companies that have all these waters, right, they have certain type of you know electrical units that's connected to that, filtering water, cleaning water, you see. So these things, when the grid gets shut off, all right, these things are going to be affected. Same thing with food. Okay, it ain't just I'm bringing the water out. The main topic of this epistle, because like he was saying, he was pretty much talking about that water heavy. All right, and I use that because see that's going to be the main thing that's going to have people bow down to the system when your ass ain't getting no damn water, man, or when your water's poisoned. You see, because man could live without bread, all right, but you need water at the end of the day, because your whole body's filled with water, right? Your body's 80% water, all right? But see, this is all orchestrated by YAHAWAH'S first and foremost, bringing it upon our people as plagues, okay? And then you have the elites, all right, that the Lord put the spirit on them because he uses them as that whooping stick, as it tells you in Isaiah, the 10th chapter, the 5th verse, the rod, O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger, you see, the rod of my indignation. You see, the Lord uses the sword against a hypocritical nation, okay? So he going to put the spirit on this devil to do what he do, okay? To, take away your natural resources, man, your food, your water, all right? And people going to be put in bad predicaments. People going to pretty much do whatever they can in their favor, right, to help themselves out in the cause, right? So this is the finish what he said, right?
Infrastructure systems. Let's go ahead and take a look at the latest against the United States. They're saying they can't match our military might, but they can contaminate our drinking water, shut off our power.
See, they're gonna contaminate your drinking water, man. It's gonna be a lot of disease. Hey, man, the prophets of old spoke of pestilence, man, great evils, man. A lot of people gonna die by actual disease. A lot of people gonna die from famine, lack of water, okay, and a lot of people gonna die by the actual sword, you see. And he said,
grids and also wreak havoc.
Yeah, he said the grids are gonna be shut off. All right, which we've been telling you that for years now, man, because that's a plague that was brought upon Egypt in those ancient times, man. So the same thing is gonna be brought back in these times. You see, it's just in a different manner. All right, back in the time of Egypt, the Lord brought darkness upon this place, upon Egypt, 3 days where darkness was felt. They couldn't even see right in front of them. Okay, but see, in today's society, all right, it's going to be done by the way of a cyber attack. Okay, and because everything is connected to somehow the grid, connected to electricity. All right, that's why it's going to affect everybody, here in America, and it's going to affect a lot of people worldwide also. Okay, because remember, they trying to heap all nations together, right? He trying to heap onto himself all nations through this MOTB. Okay, so that's going to be a worldwide thing. This is why a global collapse is being brought down upon these people, man. Okay, and they're going to try everything in their power to try to, keep their keep their economy running, but they ain't gonna. It's all the will of YAHAWAH'S, man, to shut these things down. All right. The Lord said that he bringing destruction upon the heathen also, right? So the heathens are gonna feel the wrath of the Lord also. It's just that the Lord gonna deal with our people first, because we're his chosen generation, we're his chosen people. So he gonna deal with us first, right? Take us out the way, and then eventually, you know, he gonna deal with the rest of these heathens. And they gonna starve and they gonna thirst. All right, and they're gonna thirst and starve worse than us. Okay? So go ahead, continuing.
On U.S. society with various cyber attacks on critical infrastructure systems. Let's go ahead and take a look at the latest headlines so that way you can see it for yourself. U.S. warns of Iran-affiliated cyber.
Let me do this. What will be affected if a cyber attack hits America? All right. It says a major cyber attack on the U.S. could halt daily life by disrupting critical infrastructures, power grids, transportation, and water supplies. You see, and that's why I made it more about the water. All right, because hey, we've been hearing about the famine. They're telling you about food shortages every day. Okay, but the worst thing you could get hit with is an actual shortage of water, man. Having no women in, not having clean water around your area. Okay, see, this is why you gotta learn how to do certain things, man. You gotta learn how to cleanse water. You gotta learn how to, you know, take it back to school science that you learned in school, how to survive. You know, my first survival kit. You know, it says it would threaten national security by compromising military operations, cause massive economic losses through bank disruption, and risk public safety by shutting down hospital systems. You see, and these are all things that we need in our daily lives, man. And when all of that is taken away, everything that you depend on, okay, what is it going to do? It's going to put everybody in total chaos. You see, Shalom, Sister YAHAWAH'S. It's going to bring total chaos amongst the people. It's going to tighten up the sedition amongst men. It's going to tighten up, you know, neighbors having no pity upon their neighbors. Okay? Everybody going to go into a frenzy. And because they have no stability of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the Lord, our people, they just going to go completely nuts. Okay? They're going to go completely nuts. And they're going to... Hold on, there's a damn cop right here. You going to go after somebody. You going to go mess with somebody already. These damn cops ain't got nothing better to do. Straight racist town we in right now. Can't wait to mess with somebody. So yeah, you know, it's going, like the guy was saying, you know, Iran doesn't have the power to literally outnumber, okay, U.S. military. But see, they have the smarts. America's stupid. All right. But they have the smarts to basically, you know, how do they have the smarts? They have the smarts to having China on their side, having Russia on their side. You see, these are powerhouses, man. So they're all helping with the data. You got China that's helping with data, giving data on to Iran. Okay, same thing going on with, you know, Russia. Then on top of that, okay, they have basically, you know, Iran being a guard onto them. You see? And by them being a guard onto them, all right, yeah, that can make Iran even more strong. It can make them even stronger, right? And make them more ballsy. You see? And that just falls into Joel, the 3rd chapter, All right, 3 and 9. Okay, let the weak say I am strong. Well, 3 and 11, right, or 3 and 10. Let the weak say I am strong. All right, because now they have intelligence just like America does, if not even greater intelligence, man. Because the fact that they even have China helping them, all right, China is way more advanced than America, and they have always desired to be like on to America, as the scriptures tell you in 2nd Ezra's, the 15th chapter. Okay, they have desired to be just like America. So them trying to be like America and wanting to be, you know, next in line to rule, all right, they have advanced themselves on a whole nother level. Okay, so that's already an A+ for Iran, man. Okay, so like it says here, all right, critical infrastructure, utilities, attackers could shut down electrical grids. Yep. And once the power's gone, you know, that's at least more than half of America being doomed just through power alone, right? Natural gas pipelines gonna be affected. Okay, it says, and water treatment facilities. Yeah, see, that's the point. That's what I wanted to say before. Because once the power gets shut down, these places that have water, these are water treatment facilities, right? See, this is why they have trained you to drink purified water, and, you know, because the best water is like mountain water, spring water, right? Waters that come out of creeks, you know? So the natural minerals and things like that actually flow through the water and cleanse it itself. But what have they been doing this whole entire time? They've been grabbing Roundup, spraying places that have natural spring water and things like that, because they know that the elect is going to be like pilgrims upon the earth, and they're going to run off to these places because they know we're smart like that. You see? And people have become more smart, have become smarter within time. But see, they have trained you to drink purified water, bottled water. At the end of the day, they want to tell you that Poland Spring is spring water from the mountain. That shit bullshit, man. Fiji water from the mountains and shit. Come on, man. You talk about Esau, Edom, you know, being behind the cause of these things, man. He's a liar. You know what I'm saying? He's a deceiver. He's a manipulator. So he's gonna make you believe that these things are, you know, they're natural and, you know, spring water. But at the end of the day, it's the same shit. It's all purified water coming from a treatment center. Okay, that's why you gotta have things like distillers and things like that, you know, to make your water to the best of your ability, you know, to help the cause. Okay. So once the power grid's shut, yeah, these water treatment facilities are going to be destroyed, man. All right. And you're not going to be able to, they're hacking into those things right now as we speak, little by little, contaminating your water, like the guy said. All right. Who the hell knows what the hell's in these waters? Okay. That's why you got to pray upon your food, pray upon what you drink, you know, asking the Lord to cleanse it through the Spirit, you know, because we're pretty much doomed on each side, man, when it comes to us, you know, having no choice but to, you know, you're going to your oppressor for the want of all things, man. All right. At the end of the day, you live here in America, so you got to go to your local store to get water, your local store to get food and things like that, you know. But that's what, you know, prayer comes in handy. Okay, and that's what the dietary laws that the Lord has given you is even more handy, because he has made you stay away from certain things for a reason. Okay, and in these last days, it's best for us to really just stay away from the king's portion, man. You know, the things of this world, and try to stick to, you know, the sea moss and the, you know, the fruits and the vegetables, and even them things is, you know, GMO. All right, but you gotta, you know, try to keep it as natural as possible. All right, and that's important, because everything else is pretty much, you know, defiled. We're eating defiled bread amongst the Gentiles. You know, we're drinking poisoned food, poisoned water with lead in it, you know, with all different types of contaminants in it. You don't know what the hell this damn devil's putting in that shit. Shit got men fucking acting effeminate as hell. got the women acting masculine. You see, that's because of all the shit that they putting in it. Right? So it says transportation networks. It says cyber attacks could paralyze air traffic control systems, railways, and shipping logistics. Okay, bringing the movement of goods and people to stand still. You see, and then on top of that, everything that's happening with this oil, the Strait of Hormuz, right? You need the oil to make plastics to keep your water in, to ship your water out. You need the oil for all these things that are cargo ships to be able to bring you the water and your food, right? The Strait of Hormuz is causing a lot of, 60% of the world's fertilizer to not be able to, come through like it's, a natural flow, like it always been. So we're in a shortage of a lot of things other than just straight water and food, man. Medical supplies, you're in a shortage of just necessities, period. Things that you need in your everyday lifestyle, okay? We're in a shortage of. And little by little, you're going to start seeing these things disappear in the stores. As the scriptures tell you in 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter and 22, all right? Suddenly the sown places shall be, suddenly unsown. Yeah, places that you were once able to go get certain things, you're not going to be able to have those things no more. You see? And that's why it's a smart thing to grab a couple things while you can. All right. But like I did a video 2 days ago. All right. The biggest thing we're going to stock on is what? We're going to stock up on faith, man. Because the Lord going to provide for us at the end of the day. The Lord going to make a way for us and do his miracles like he always did. All right. But for those, all right, that are wicked, right? Matter of fact, let me grab that real quick. All right. This is Ecclesiastes 39 and Ecclesiastes 39 and 26, I believe it is. It says the principal things for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, blood of the grape, and oil, and clothing. All these are for good to the godly. So to the sinners, they are turned into evil. You see? So we're not going to worry because the Lord going to provide for those things for us because that's the principal use of man's life. All right. But see, you knuckleheads that don't want to listen, man, and don't want to hearken on to the Lord. See, those things are going to be turned into evils for you because the Lord going to take those things that you need the most away from you. You see, the things that you depend on the most, the Lord's got to snatch it away from you. Shalom, Malak, Yahawah's, Yahushua, Barakatah. The Lord has to take those things away from you, man, because it's part of the plagues. It's part of your suffering. You wanted to live in that mirthy life, and you wanted to live it up while we were already suffering through trials and tribulations. Well, hey, your pleasures of sin for a season, all right, are gonna be turned real quick, all right, to your doom, basically. You see? So again, it says all these things are for good to the godly, so to the sinners they are turned into evil. All right, and everything that was just mentioned, all right, right there, it really goes into, you could go into it twofold because it speaks about also metaphorically that those things are all of the truth. Okay, and like I've said in many other videos in the last couple weeks, which is it's in the spirit heavy, all right, that it keeps coming out over and over and over again. All right, the true bread of life is YAHAWAH'S, man. The true water that we have, all right, when the time of thirst is having this word, man, out of your belly flowing rivers of living water, right? having, as a matter of fact, let me grab that real quick. This is John 4 and 4. 1 second. Yeah, 4 and 14. It says, but whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst, but the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. You see? Because, all right, this water that the Lord gives you, man, this true baptism, all right, being this word, okay, is what truly cleanses you, man. All right, is what truly fills you up in a time of need. Because it goes back to wisdom and knowledge being, the stability of thy times. Okay. When you're hungry, right, and you're thirsty, the only thing that could stabilize you is what? Is your food, is your water, right? But like the Lord said in John 6, right? He said, this is 6 and 35. It says, and Yahawashi said unto them, I am the bread of life. He that cometh to me shall never hunger, and he that believeth on me shall never thirst. You see? So when you are thirsty and you're hungry, what are you relying on to get? To keep you stable is the actual physical food and the water. All right. But see, knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy times. You see? And Yahawashi comes in the volume of the book. Yahawashi is the word. Yahawashi is the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You see? Yahawashi is the comforter. So that's why we're going to be comforted in that day with no problem, man. Okay? We're not going to worry about none of those things. Because we have Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi watching over us. Right? So let's go back to what it was saying, right? This is financial services. Banks could face major outages, hindering transactions, causing significant economic damage, and potentially draining personal financial accounts. Healthcare systems, hospitals, and medical facilities can have their systems locked by ransomware, preventing access to patient records and forcing the cancellation of critical procedures, man. And a lot of these people, man, listen, bro, when this shit gets shut down, these cyber attacks come, that's it. A lot of people, anybody that's in the hospital at that time gonna die. It's that simple. You're gonna have a waste of medicine, penicillins, and antibiotics that get kept in freezers, and they're always kept preserved. They ain't gonna be able to be preserved anymore. People that are hooked up to machines at the time, at that moment, that's it. You're not gonna breathe no more. You're not, whatever machine it is, IV, whatever, you're not gonna get it no more. You see? These are the great miseries that's coming to our people, man, that in the latter time walked in great pride. This is why it's important to fear Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi, because unto the Lord belong the issues of death. You see? So all these things is happening, right? People that are passing away, all right, being put in their graves, is because the Lord called for it, man. And I know it's hard for people to understand it because they're so brainwashed thinking that the Lord doesn't hurt or the Lord doesn't, put down in the grave. But hey, what does it tell you in 1 Samuel 2 and 8, 2 and 6? All right. The Lord kills. Let me grab it real quick. This is This is 1 Samuel 2 and 6. And it reads, the Lord killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. You see? So it's all of the Lord. So all the death and destruction that you see is the plagues that the Lord said and promised that will come here to Babylon the Great. Okay. And what this guy's talking about, that's all plagues. If you're listening to what he's saying, that's about to happen, that Iran wants to do. All right. And Iran gonna do that, man, because Iran's gonna waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians, as the scriptures say. So the Iranians, before they get smacked, they gonna go out with a bang, man. All right. They gonna make sure that some shit is destroyed here in America. Okay. At the end of the day, they gonna leave this place afraid. Okay, they gonna leave this place battered and bruised. Okay, and however it is that, you know, it's gonna come through a missile, you know, blowing shit up out here, and it's gonna come through ways like this, man. You know, shutting down your grids, shutting down your resources. Is that not what, as a matter of fact, is that not what America does to other people anyway? You know, is that not what they always do? They go to everybody's backyard and just take their fucking resources, shut their shit down, and that's it. Well, now they feeling their own taste of their own medicine. Okay. And it's funny because, what was it? It's in one of my, my things. And the things that I got saved, but I believe America was saying everything was all good, but then there's another post of Iran saying that these devils done lied about 7 different things, and see, that's the thing, that America got people in a brainwash thinking that everything is sweet, and meanwhile, you know, famines is growing and evils is growing upon the earth. So ain't nothing sweet with America right now. If everything was sweet, okay, you would have been seeing them act like how they acted when they took over Venezuela, when they took over Maduro. You know, you would have seen them acting just like that, proudful as hell. You see, but they're not acting the same way. Your president's acting proudful, but that's because he's under strong delusion right now. You see. So the Lord got him in a certain spirit, all right, thinking that everything is all good, and got him so delusional that he just telling the world, we're good, we're good, we're good. Nah, he good, but your American troops ain't good. Your American military ain't good. Your American country is not good, you see. And he could care 2 shits about y'all because he has a certain agenda that he has to play. He's a puppet onto the elites. So he has to do what he was called to do, basically. And ultimately, that's just the Lord. Once again, everything goes back, all right? All roads lead back to YAHAWAH'S. The same way we say all roads lead back to the MOTB, all roads lead back to YAHAWAH'S prophecy. Because the Lord is in control of all things, all right? So, going back, right, it says communication and internet. It says large-scale disruptions to internet backbone providers could sever connectivity, right? Hindering emergency services and data access. Yeah, and that's why there's going to be all lawlessness out here. Ain't going to be no, I could call 911 and get help. That shit going to be done with, man. Ain't going to be no more ambulances running around. And nah. The way of life is going to be death out here, man. The way of life is going to be people in agony, okay? People holding their damn fucking stomachs and crawling all over the floor, man. You see? So it says military and national defenses. And this is what eventually, when all these things shut down, this is where your national defense and your military is going to come into play the hardest, you know? Because now they got everybody weakened down to their knees. Now they can get the total control over the people. Now they can push the, you know, the MOTB. Now, because everybody's half dead and half starving and half thirst, you know, and they're begging and begging and begging. Now I can, you know, push this total technocracy that I've been wanting to push, is what Esau's basically going to say. Right? It says state-sponsored actors could target the Department of Defense, disrupt the logistics, compromising classified data, and damaging military readiness. Okay? And eventually, yeah, you know, Iran is going to break down a lot of the military power that's here in America. All right? They're already pretty much being weakened little by little. That's why you think it goes into Jeremiah the 51 chapter where it says the men, all right, have forborne to fight. They don't even want to fight the battle no more because they can see. They ain't that stupid. You talk about military, you know, they got military smarts. They've been doing that shit for a reason, right? You're in special intelligence for a reason. And they can see already that, now we can't even fucking win against these people. No way. They got China, they got Russia. These people done up their smarts. They ain't even stupid like we thought they were. See, they thought they were going to... See, the only reason the Lord allowed Venezuela to get taken over was because Venezuela is our people, you see? So that was judgment against a lot of those people out there. A lot of Asher was getting smacked, you see? So the Lord will allow Esau to bring the sword and calamities upon our tribes. But see, these other nations ain't our tribes at all. And they're fulfilling Joel the 3rd chapter, showing that they ain't scared, showing their teeth, okay? And eventually, you know, showing that all these nations round about are going to come to conspire together to destroy America, right? So it says, these attacks create high-cost financial damage, 57 billion to 109 billion annually in some estimates, and erode public trust in digital systems, you see? So, listen, man, what this guy's talking about, this shit's about to hit America hard, all right? And in the process of all these things, you got these false flags happening, you know? You got, you know, America itself, you know, trying to, you know, come with their own little tactics here in America, right? So hold on, let me play the rest of that video. Oh, shit. Hold on, give me 1 second, gotta go back to it. I'll play it one more time and I'll start closing out.
By Iran against the United States. They're saying they can't match our military might, but they can contaminate our drinking water, shut off our power grids, and also wreak havoc on U.S. society with various cyber attacks on critical infrastructure systems. Let's go ahead and take a look at the latest headlines so that way you can see it for yourself. U.S. warns of Iran-affiliated cyber attacks on critical infrastructure across the country. Security agencies say municipalities should watch out for unusual activity, especially in water and energy sectors. We're hearing a special warning on these particular areas. Iran planning cyber attack on U.S. infrastructure, intelligence community warns. Here's another one coming out in the last 3 days. Cyber attacks target U.S. infrastructure and other cybersecurity news as well. And we're hearing special emphasis on water and also on electricity. Now, in addition to that, there have been new warnings coming out from the FBI regarding cyber attacks.
Yeah, that shit is heavy. With just water and electricity, once that shit's shut down, everything else is going to shut down right behind it. It's that easy. You shut down the water, you shut down the electricity, food is out the picture. That shit comes right behind it. And you shut down water, yeah, you're going to gain total control of people, man. Those are the two most important things that our people need here to continue, you know, living decent, comfortably, you know. Now people about to get real unfucking comfortable, man. See, this is why the Lord's been training our minds to be uncomfortable. You see? So we don't have to worry about that shit. We don't have to be trying to get in a comfort zone. Being in this truth is never a comfort zone. It's always uncomfortableness. You see? That's part of the sufferings that we go through. You see? And the Lord's been training our mind very well to be uncomfortable. You got to thank YAHAWAH'S every day for that, man. Because when that uncomfortableness comes, it's just going to be another day, you know, that we've been going through out here, man.
Right here at home on U.S. citizens. Take a look at this. Feds issue an urgent warning for internet users. Update your routers immediately. We're going to be getting into all the details. And
I'll be real with you. I'll be real with you. That's stupid right there. Don't update your fucking routers. Don't do that. Definitely don't do that. Every time they update, when you update routers and you update your phones, and there's always something new that's being added in an easier way to hack into your shit, man. See, it's harder to hack. Like when you don't update your phones and things like that, I mean, it runs slower. You might not get newer features and things like that, but it's harder to hack that shit, man, because you're not up to date with what's going on your on what like everybody else is. You see, you on the old wave. So when the key for them to do is hack everybody all at once. So if you're in that caught up new wave, right, then you're gonna be part of the. You're gonna be a victim of it. Just for the simple fact that you updated your shit. And I've been running on. I mean, sometimes my phone will update by itself. I be hating that shit, but for the most part, my shit is on some old school shit. I don't give a shit, and my shit works perfectly fine. You know, you're not guaranteed to update your phone. They want you to update your phone because, like I said, newer features, newer ways to tap into your shit. All right, the more you keep updating your ways, you know, it's like I don't even know how to explain it, man. It's just something I realized within the years, you know, when you leave your phone a certain way, man, it does the same thing it always did. Okay? That new update shit, I don't agree with it at all. I could be wrong, you know. I'm just speaking as a man of what I've been through in my past experiences. All right? Now, if your phone completely can't connect to internet and shit like that, well, then your phone going to have a certain update. All right? But they're trying to cut off the internet anyway. So what the fuck does it matter if you even connected to that shit or not? You know? I do that shit manually somehow. Right? But let's listen.
The FBI warning reveals phishing attacks hitting private chats. Now, Russian hackers are targeting messaging apps. They're trying to get regular, everyday civilians information. We're going to be covering the details.
See, that's what I mean. See, they're trying to get civilians information every day. So why would you update your shit? Why would you upgrade? You know, if they're already in the process of trying to figure that out anyway. Okay? Your shit won't work past a certain level when you leave it at a certain update. They have to basically backtrack the old way to get your information. That's what I'm trying to say.
Caution as we are hearing that this is unfolding right now.
That's pretty much the end of it. It stopped. You know? So, hey, man. So, hey, man, it's about to get real spooky. It's about to get real spooky. And they talking about this more frequent and more, you know, it's coming out in the algorithm more and more. All right, and when you see things like that, you got to look at it through the spirit. That's YAHAWAH'S warning over and over. He's going to warn through his prophets anyway. But remember, the Lord uses the outside of the world to warn you also, you know, through these damn devils, through these podcasts and all that. Because we're using these podcasts to bring out the information also. Okay, it's just that we tie it back to the scriptures. And then, you know, we filter it through the scriptures. But listening to what these people be talking about over and over and over again, all right, they're not true watchmen because they're not coming in the word of the Lord. But the Lord got a certain spirit on them where they're bringing out the information daily, you know. and their information keeps coming out more and more about the same thing also. So it's a warning through the spirit, you know, of what's to come, along with the with the prophets bringing out the word and filtering it through the scripture of what's going to happen, you know. So we got to stay on point, you know. We got to stay in tune with Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, stay prayed up, you know, stay in touch with the Lord, man. Okay, don't let none of these things sidetrack you, none of that. All right, because this thing is about to pop off when you least expect it, you know. And we've been staying ready, so we ain't got to get ready, you know. So it's not gonna catch us by surprise. As it tells you in, you know, First Thessalonians the 5th chapter, verse 1. You know, no need that I tell you, brethren, because you yourselves know that the day of the Lord come like a thief in the night. All right. So we know that they're gonna try to come, all right, with surprise attacks, which is all the Lord, you know, directing their steps to do that. So, you know, I'm gonna leave it there through the spirit, Lord willing. Let's see what the brother put here. It says there's a new feature on Instagram where you can locate where some. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why I don't be messing around with that new shit, bro. Because it's really giving up. Let me make it even make more sense. It's giving up more information than in the older updates and things like that. I'm good. I'm good. They'll find ways to track you even easier because they want you more connected to their system more and more, you know? So that's why it's like, nah, I'm good. I forget all that update shit. You know, if your phone happens to update on its own, you have no control of it. So what? But for you to physically go and update to it, a lot of people just update it. And even when it comes to ask you to update, because they pretty much asks you the phone or ask you if you want to update, you don't have to update. Your phone will work perfectly fine. It'll just be a little slower. So what? You see? Like the brother said, that shit is finding out where you at. Listen, man. That shit'll find out where your family at, your kids at. Like, nah, I'm good. All right? I might have explained it a little wrong and a little confusion, but I know exactly what I'm saying. You know how sometimes you're trying to explain something and you know exactly how you're trying to explain it. It ain't coming out right, but you know what you're talking about. That's how it is with that whole situation on updates. I never liked the updates, you know? But sometimes it can mess you up because, like, that's why I can't get on my iMac. I used to do a lot of computer lessons where I could show my screen record what I'm looking at. I can't do that no more because I kind of messed up. I should have updated that. I left it too long, you know? And now I can't even connect to the damn internet on my iMac. And that shit crazy. My shit should be able to definitely connect to the internet at least just to browse. It won't even do that, you know? But I got to find a way to do it on my phone. There is a way to do it, but when I do it on my phone, it doesn't allow me to go on my main page to drop the video. It goes to a page that, like, I don't got nobody on that page, and it's annoying. I don't know how I did that. I can't get it to switch to my main page, and that's why I've never done videos off of screen record and things like. I will basically have to do the video and then download the video into YouTube, and I don't like doing that. That shit's a process. Like I do everything live. I like to do my shit live, so you know. But appreciate the information right there, you know. So I'm gonna leave it there through the spirit, Lord willing, that you will edify. So with that being said, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Elohim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Kudash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered abroad. The Akim and the Aqua that's was listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing, that the lesson was edifying. So the next one, Shalom. Keep fighting the good fight of faith. Doing as good soldiers of Yahweh Shai. You just continue to learn the silence, watching the true men of the Lord. Stay prayed up. Keep throwing the prayers that, you know, Babylon the Great be destroyed, you know, any day now. All right. And that Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai come back with speedy riddance and get us up out of here. So I'm gonna leave it there through the spirit. Shalom, Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai brought me down to y'all. Get a VPN. Yeah, I gotta look into that. I'm not how you call that, tech savvy. I ain't good with computers and things like that. I hate computers, bro. I be trying to make certain emails, and man, listen, man, that thing be getting me annoyed. So I'm just thankful to Wada YAHAWAH'S the shit that I put together when I did, it was through the Spirit anyway. And I've been using the same things all this time, you know, and you know, the Lord get me through with it. But yeah, I got to look into that. I got to look exactly what a VPN stands for, what is for, how to use it. You know, I wish I could be more tech, you know, nice with the technology, but that I'm definitely a weak link on that, you know. But I appreciate it. I'm gonna look through on that through the Spirit. So with that being said, Shalom, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shabbat.